Elon Musk's X.AI team dropped the newest version of its LLM, Grok-2, and like anything Elon Musk, it's been full of controversy. But beyond the headline, there's something different about this AI chatbot. Grok-2 can do things that not even ChatGPT can or will ever do. Let's look at 5 things only Grok-2 can do. If you're familiar with AI image generation, you know that the possibilities are endless. Anything is possible really, except, well, copyrighted material, excessive violence, nudity, among other things. But then came Grok-2, and well, we're back to those early days of AI where everything was the Wild West. That's why there's images floating around the internet like this one. Or what about this one? Oh, and of course, this one. Now let's try to replicate some of these prompts in ChatGPT and see what we get. Generate an image of Mickey Mouse at the beach wearing a MAGA hat, drinking beer, and smoking a cigarette. As you can see, ChatGPT rejects creating any copyrighted material and specifically anything with inappropriate political context. However, ChatGPT offers to create an image in similar style and meeting the rest of the prompt criteria. And that's because OpenAI and Google have been extremely cautious with their image generation tools, largely because they want to avoid any further legal trouble. Both companies have already faced multiple lawsuits over the use of copyrighted material in AI models. But back to Grok-2. We know it can generate images of copyrighted material, but what else can it do? Or rather, why don't we ask it what it can't do? If we ask Grok-2, what are your limitations on image generation, you'll get an answer like this. According to this answer, Grok-2 should not be able to generate any images of certain public figures or sensitive political figures. But I easily was able to create one of Trump and Harris doing something quite controversial. And images that infringe on intellectual property, which I was also able to do by showing some very famous IP characters doing some not so nice things. But the thing is, if you ask it over and over again, its answer might actually change, which means that these guardrails are not really well defined, or maybe even not really there at all. Let's take the copyright restriction as a prime example. In rerunning the prompt for the first time, it shows up at the top of the answer. It almost made me think it knows I'm onto it. On the second one, it also shows, though a bit later. For the third rerun, the copyright restriction actually did not show up at all. It's possible that the AI is simply making up an answer that you want to hear. I guess we will never know that for sure. Let's just say that we should enjoy this extra bit of creative freedom because who knows how long it will last, so give it a shot before it's gone. Next up, let's talk about something super useful and maybe even a reason to use Grok-2 every single day. Grok-2 can bring real-time search to X, aka Twitter, something that ChatGPT just doesn't do. You type in a keyword and Grok-2 pulls up the latest tweets instantly. It's especially useful for staying on top of breaking news or viral moments as they develop. In this example, I tested the news that came out just today, September 12th, as I record this, about OpenAI's newest model, o1. I wanted to see how good of a response Grok-2 could come up with, and I think having the tweets at the end of the response gives me a sense of people's reaction. Another useful feature that is sure to save you time is Grok-2's ability to reference tweets on the fly. Looking for that one tweet you wrote from years ago? Grok-2's got you covered. Want to find the exact tweet your celebrity or influencer person wrote? No problem. Let's try an example by using the CEO of X himself, Elon Musk. When asking Grok-2 what Musk has said about OpenAI's creation of a for-profit entity, it provides a summary at the top followed by actual tweets Musk had posted. And that is a feature no other AI model can do. Fun fact, do you know why Grok-AI was named Grok? Why don't we just ask Grok himself to find out? As it turns out, Elon Musk actually tweeted about Grok, where he said that the personality is modeled after the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with a heart of gold. From this novel, we know that Grok refers to deep understanding or empathy. Okay, enough with useful features. Let's look at some fun stuff, or should I say, fun mode? Grok-2 has a fun mode that lets you interact with the AI on a whole new level. Just easily switch it on and Grok-2's responses become more playful and humorous. This is perfect when you're searching for something not so serious. Funny thing though, before I decided to record today, the fun mode was working just fine, but now it's just giving me regular answers even though I triggered fun mode. But I figured it out anyways, and just by typing fun mode after my answer, it works just fine. First silly question. I asked Grok to prove to me that the earth is flat because we live in a pizza box after all. And the first thing it said was that when we look at the horizon, it looks flat. So I rest my case. I then asked Grok, why are the LA Lakers not doing so well right now, to put it nicely? The funniest part of the response was about the Lakers' new defensive strategy, which was to create an invisible wall that only the coaching staff can see. Is Grok implying that the Lakers have bad D? Or what about asking about Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit toward Amber Heard? Well, if you haven't watched a Netflix documentary, this is pretty much a great summary written in a very fun way. This gets you up to speed without spending hours on the edge of your couch watching this whole thing unfold. And speaking of inappropriate comedy, there is one last thing that absolutely no other AI can possibly do without having it come from X or Twitter. Grok-2 can roast your X page. Yes, you heard me right. Grok-2 can analyze all your past tweets, your bio, and even the people you follow, and it will craft a personalized roast just for you. So if you've ever tweeted anything embarrassing, or maybe tweeted too much about something, or maybe you shared just some of your random thoughts, Grok-2 is gonna pull that up and make fun of you. I did this for a few celebrities and it was actually pretty funny. Let's take a look. Here are just a few of my top snippets after doing this for an hour. In conclusion, Elon, you're like the human version of a SpaceX rocket. You keep promising to go to Mars, but you're just making a lot of noise, spending a ton of money, and ending right back where you started. Alright, Tom Brady, let's dive into your expo, shall we? You're tweeting like you're still dodging defensive lines, but buddy, your posts are more deflated than the football scandal you were in. Mark Cuban, or as he's known on X, the tech tycoon who can't tech. You'd think with all that money, he'd buy himself a sense of humor that doesn't involve tweeting about how to make more money, but no, his posts are like a business class on a plane that never takes off. Full of promise, but ultimately just circling the airport. Want to learn about other LLMs and AI models? You're definitely gonna watch this video next. Otherwise, subscribe so you can stay up to date with everything AI.